Hello and welcome to Eco Africa. Today's program features several examples of how the efforts of even a few individuals can improve the lives of many. I'm Neo Taigbe in Lagos, Nigeria. Small acts can make a big difference. This week, we will see how a combination of innovations and tradition might be the way to move forward into the future. Here's a look at what's coming up on the show today. We will see how ecological farming methods are turning a small island in Kenya green again. And how activists are campaigning to put an end to whaling in Iceland. We'll also meet young volunteers who are cleaning up beautiful beaches in South Africa. Permaculture in Kenya. Are you familiar with the system of agriculture known as permaculture? It's a philosophy of working with rather than against nature. Here in Africa, the principles of permaculture are experiencing something of a resurgence. Farmers and conservationists in Cameroon, Kenya, Malawi, South Africa and elsewhere are helping to breathe new life into depleted soils. Our eco team paid a visit to Mfangano Island in Lake Victoria to see the philosophy in practice.
In the waters of the Kenyan island of Mfangano in Lake Victoria, sardines and tilapia stocks are badly depleted due to overfishing. Many of the island's fishermen are boosting their income with farming. As a result, there's been widespread deforestation. But it's still a popular tourist destination. Island Camp is a luxury lodge that draws many visitors on safari holidays. Moses Nyakwadha works in its permaculture garden, where a natural growing system sustains a continuous cycle.
We keep worms here.
Local farmers are keen to see how it works. The worms go to work in this compost heat, helping turn into valuable mulch.
So this way I tap the worm juice. Now 1 liter of worm juice, I mix with 20 liters of water and take to the farm, spray to the plants as a fertilizer.
Daniel Odhiambo is a farmer and has been using organic fertilizer for a while. He no longer earns an adequate living from fishing, so he and his family grows tomatoes and cabbage. The hotel at the Safari Lodge is one of their customers. It's a win-win situation.
He always tells me about how much the lake cannot give them even food on the table. And since he came into being with us, he can now eat with the family. You can see the family there all working. Everybody's working.
The family relies on the additional income it brings in. It's the equivalent of $170 US.
This one is not enough for me to get enough money for my children to go to school.
But still, trees are being felled to clear land for agricultural use. And even worse, the wood is often turned into charcoal for cooking, another source of income for locals. Here, someone has been helping themselves to this 100-year-old fig tree. Moses Nyakwadha explains to the farmers why it is in their own interest to leave the trees intact.
When the fruits are ripened or when raw, the velvet monkeys like it a lot. So this one here makes our farms to be safe because they have other foods to take.
This local school on the island has made a vegetable patch. The children are growing tomatoes, spinach and lettuce, which they pick and eat themselves.
How are you taking care of the seedlings?
The school children are learning the basic principles of gardening. Regular watering is essential, of course, and it's important to protect the roots from drying out.
How did we mulch them, yes? Using dry grass so that they cannot dry up.
The same principle applies to trees. Only strong trees can stabilize the soil and hold it in place to finally have fertile soil again.
The most wet place, rather the most...
Moses Nyakwada wants to see the island's nature flourishing again, especially the trees, because trees are essential to a thriving ecosystem.
Mfangano shall be a forest.
The children have made a start. They're planting Nile tulip trees, which are native to Mfangano and fits into the local ecosystem.
Now, it's always inspiring to see how it is possible to turn earth that seemed destroyed or barren into fertile land. But absolutely nothing can grow without one crucial substance that is essential to all life here on planet Earth: water. But considering that it is all around us in every living thing, the fact that hundreds of millions of people around the globe have no access to clean water is simply shocking. And that's why it's good to hear that a team of engineers in Berlin have developed a system that could drastically improve lives all over the world.
Around 1.2 billion people live in Africa. But millions in Sub-Saharan Africa have no access to clean water. Drinking and bathing in contaminated water is very dangerous. Engineers in Berlin developed what they call a WaterKiosk. The system was designed by Ali Al-Hakim and Hamed Beheshti. It desalinates, filters and decontaminates water so it's potable. WaterKiosks can purify thousands of litres of water per hour. The result is virtually germ-free. And it's tasty. The process is powered by a solar energy system attached to each WaterKiosk. 10 kiosks are in operation in Kenya, Somalia and Yemen. In Kenya, 20 litres sell for around 40 cents. That's a tenth of the usual price. The WaterKiosks not only supply clean water, but also free Wi-Fi access and outlets to recharge smartphones. And they provide job opportunities for local residents.
Do you like that? If you are also doing your bit, tell us about it. Visit our website or send us a tweet. #DoingYourBit. We share your stories.
Here at Equord Africa, we often spotlight efforts being made to save endangered species. Our next report focuses on one with a particularly strong lobby, namely whales. But while there may be effectively a global ban on commercial whaling, Japan, Norway and Iceland still allow the practice. Activists in Iceland are now fighting hard to get whalers there to hang up their harpoons for good.
Marine biologist Megan Whitaker takes people whale watching off the coast of Iceland. A dream job for the marine biologist. Whitaker has spotted something. A minke whale is eating its way through a school of fish. With a bit of luck, the guests may even catch sight of the much larger humpback whale. In the same waters where the tourists are taking snapshots, others are whale hunting.
These animals, they have skin like us, it has nerves, it can feel this pain. So there's a harpoon that goes into the whale, an explosion, and then they bring these whales on board. So it can take, 30 minutes up to an hour for these whales to die. It's a long, painful process.
Iceland's only whaling station lies hidden at the end of a fjord, far away from Reykjavik. The whale catchers have captured a fin whale, the second largest mammal on Earth and an endangered species.
That is disgusting.
Animal rights activists document the stripping of the 40-ton whale's blubber. They post photos and videos online, hoping to inspire others to act against whaling.
This is not a tradition here, really. It started with Norwegians doing it. We have longer tradition of eating kale in Iceland and growing kale. So eat kale, not whale.
The big one there.
The whaling company owner dismisses this kind of criticism. As a teenager, he harpooned whales from his father's boat and ate the meat.
Whale meat is good. It's the only meat without any hormones. I can guarantee you that. But it's been banned in all EU and US and due to some reasons. But if this sentiment is going to take over here, I think Iceland will not be existing as an independent nation in a couple of years if you're going to use that argument.
Let them live! Let them live!
Surveys show that a growing number of Icelanders oppose whaling. This demonstration is taking place outside the Parliament building in Reykjavik. The government could stop the hunting at any moment. Instead, it granted Loftson's whaling company a permit to kill 191 fin whales this year alone.
The uncle of our finance minister is the CEO for the whaling company. So if this doesn't scream corruption, I don't know what does. But we have other parties in parliament and they are against whaling.
The whale meat has mainly been sold to Japan, the only export market for it. But now the whaling company has a new business idea: to make a medicinal compound for treating iron deficiency.
We plan to freeze dry the meat, and you get about 30% of the meat. That will be then ground down in powder and used as a food supplement.
Marine biologist Megan Whitaker is horrified by this type of business idea. The whales are already under threat due to climate change and marine pollution. She hopes that whale hunting will be banned as soon as possible.